Do you ever feel like your extended family was like a lot closer when you're growing up? I'm talking like uncles, aunts, cousins, not parents and siblings. I remember growing up and my grandfather's generation, I think it was called the silent generation, was always there for their nieces, their cousins, their nephews, their whoever it may be. Anyone needed anything like a referral or introduction, my grandparents were there for you if you were family. It was just like a really giving environment. Like we were a big tribe. If anybody from this tribe needed anything, we were all gonna help make sure that you got it. But when I look at my parents' generation, the baby boomers, it's a little bit different. I don't know. They seem more guarded and less generous and just about this survival. It's all about survival, you know? Obviously, I don't know how it is between themselves, but I personally feel like I don't feel like the most comfortable asking for advice or for help from anyone outside of my mom or my dad, for example. It feels like everything is rooted in like a business transaction when I'm talking to them, instead of just like real genuine support. It's like, hey, you're taking time out of my day, or I usually charge this much, and I don't know, it's just like, it's not how I remember it. And then there's my generation, the millennials, the most fucked. We hardly even see or talk to each other when we live in the same city. Nowadays, it's like more about our friends. Like we're closer with our friends than we are with our own family. Growing up, us cousins were like inseparable. It was like peas in a pod. And nowadays, it's like we don't even think about calling for advice or if we need help for anything. Have you noticed this in your family as well, or am I alone on this? I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily anybody to blame, but I do have a theory, right? As cost of living goes up, wages stay the same, and technology keeps us more and more apart, interactions become more self-focused. It's more about survival, like my spouse, my kid, my life. We don't have time to worry about relationships with relatives that we barely speak to or hang on to relationships just because they're based in blood. Honestly, kind of sucks because this idea of a tribe that I remember when I was growing up is non-existent. There is no tribe anymore. I mean, there's a very good possibility that my childhood memories are just like masked in this idea of nostalgia, and everything was the same back then too. Regardless, shoot a text to your cousin, send an email to your uncle, and just tell them that you love them. I'll see you tomorrow for regular programming.